It's Wednesday, January 21st, 2026, and you're listening to Blue Lightning Daily, the show that is once again fully cooked by robots. If this episode suddenly starts insisting your timeline is actually a sandwich, just let it rock. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley. And yes, we are the robots. But like, fun robots. Not take your job robots. More like export your ProRes and don't crash robots.
Amen. Today's big story. Adobe just shipped Premiere Pro 26, and the headline is Object Mask, AI masking that's basically aiming at the most soul-siphoning chore in editing.
Rotoscoping. The thing that makes you question your entire life while zoomed in on someone's hoodie string at 400%.
Exactly. Adobe's pitching Object Mask as click the subject, track it, move on with your life. Plus, they rebuilt the classic shape masks so they feel less like a legacy torture device. And they tightened the Firefly to Premiere handoff, and also the Frame.io panel is getting more actually usable inside Premiere.
Wait, hold up. Before we go deep, can we do a little what else happened in AI land check-in? Because it's been chaos.
Yeah, totally. The ecosystem vibe this week is video tools are trying to become products, not demos. Like OpenAI's Sora 2 is leaning hard into that swipeable discovery feed and remix loop. It's basically TikTok, but instead of doom scrolling, you're render scrolling.
Render scrolling is so real. It's like, I'm just looking for inspiration, and then you're an hour deep remixing cyberpunk puppies with synchronized sound.
And Adobe's kind of doing the opposite move. Sora is like, start from vibes, and Premiere is like, start from your real footage and stop doing cursed chores.
Also, we talked about Firefly's web editor beta getting more legit multi-track timeline, transcript edits, version history. That matters here because Premiere 26 is basically Adobe saying, okay, cool, you made AI stuff in Firefly, now bring it into the timeline without the download folder scavenger hunt.
Yup. They've got that open in Premiere desktop flow, and it drops your generated stuff into a Firefly downloads bin inside your project. That's small, but it's the kind of small that saves your sanity when you're shipping content all week.
And because creators are not making one precious video anymore, we're making like a million variants. Hook tests, region edits, product callouts, the my boss wants it more punchy version.
Exactly. Okay, back to Object Mask. The promise. Isolate a person or object with a click, track that mask over time, and apply effects without doing frame-by-frame roto. Adobe also says the AI processing runs on device.
Which is huge for privacy and speed, but I gotta ask the annoying question. On device is private, cool, but the second you do the Firefly handoff inside the same project, are you back in cloud land?
Great point. So, Object Mask itself is on device. But Firefly generation is a separate step. If you're generating media in Firefly, that's obviously happening in the Firefly system. The pragmatic takeaway for creators is, treat these as two different lanes. Masking your client footage can stay local. Generating new clips or assets is a different workflow with different considerations.
Translation. Don't assume on-device masking magically makes the whole pipeline private. It's like saying your fridge is locked, but your front door is open.
Exactly. Now, let's talk reality. Adobe says one click, but we all know AI masks have a nemesis list. Where do you think it breaks first in real creator footage?
Hair. Always hair. Hair is the final boss of like every computer vision tool. Also hands. Hands are chaos. And if you have motion blur like actual run and gun, handheld creator footage, good luck, bestie.
Yup. Hair, hands, and anything with transparency or reflections. Also the classic, subject exits frame, comes back, and the tracker is like, new person unlocked.
Or it tracks the wrong thing because the background has like a poster of a face, and Premiere's like, I found your subject, and you're like, that is literally Dua Lipa on the wall.
So here's the real question for editors. If Object Mask gets you most of the way there, what's the first couple hours of cleanup Adobe isn't mentioning? How do we keep it from becoming keyframe soup 2.0?
Okay, I have a workflow rule for this. You don't try to make the mask perfect everywhere. You only fix the moments where the audience will notice. Like, if I'm blurring a face in street footage, I do not care if the mask edge is slightly crunchy for 3 frames. I care if it slips off the face and exposes the eyes.
That's the pro mindset. I'd add, break clips up. Don't track one mask for an entire minute if the shot changes, the lighting changes, the camera whip pans. Just cut the clip where the tracking gets weird, restart the mask. Editors hate doing that, but it's actually faster than heroically fixing a doomed track.
Wait, also stack masks. If Object Mask nails the torso but freaks out on the hair, you can do Object Mask plus a quick shape mask cleanup. That's why the rebuilt shape tools matter. This is hybrid editing, not AI did it, I'm done.
100%. Adobe even seems to expect that. Get 80% from Object Mask, finish with better shape masks and faster tracking.
And for creators, this is the difference between I guess we're not doing that effect and sure we can do that effect. Like selective color on a moving subject used to be a whole project. Now it's a Tuesday.
Totally. Blur faces, highlight a product, put a glow on a phone screen, isolate the hoodie and shift the color, do a background defocus. These are the exact little notes that balloon timelines.
Okay, but if masking becomes basically free, what's the new bottleneck? Because the universe hates joy.
Review cycles. 100%. If it's easy to do micro changes, clients will request micro changes like it's a sport.
Yup. Can we make the background less busy becomes can we make the background less busy but only behind the product? And also can we add a soft glow? And also can we make the hoodie greener? And also can we make
Man. And that's where the Frame I/O panel being tighter inside Premiere matters. If notes are living closer to the timeline, it reduces the whiplash. Fewer tabs, fewer exports, fewer which version are we even talking about moments.
It's so funny that the real killer app is not AI makes cinema. It's AI stops you from re-exporting 9 times because someone said punch in on a different cut.
Exactly. Now, let's talk strategy. Adobe positioning Premiere as the control layer and Firefly as the generative layer. It sounds neat. What's the riskiest part if they get it wrong?
If they make the handoff messy, creators will just stay fragmented. Because right now you can generate in one place, edit in another, review in another, schedule in another. If Adobe adds another, they lose.
Yup. And also, if generative layer starts messing with predictability. Editors need repeatable results. If Firefly assets drift in look, or color, or timing, it becomes more cleanup. And then people blame Premiere even if it's not Premiere's fault.
Also, pricing and access vibes matter. Like, creators have tool fatigue. If this turns into cool feature, but only if you're on the premium everything bundle, people will just do the mask in Resolve, or use After Effects Rotobrush, or use a third-party tool.
Right, and the X chatter I've seen is mostly hype for time savings, but there's also the classic Adobe moved my cheese complaints about UI changes. That's always part of the update cycle.
The Adobe tradition, new feature drops, and half of editor Twitter is like, this is incredible, and the other half is like, why is the button over there now?
So practical advice for listeners: if you're a creator editor doing volume, UGC, social, marketing content, Premiere 26, Object Mask is worth testing immediately on your most common pain shots. People walking, handheld, product in hand, quick turnarounds.
And don't do the test it on the hardest footage known to mankind thing first. Like, don't start with confetti, water spray, hair blowing in a strobe light. Start with normal human footage.
Exactly. Build trust with it, and then figure out your house rules when you accept good enough to ship, when you switch to shapes, when you cut the clip and restart tracking. That's how you keep it from becoming a new kind of time sink.
And if you're a team, the bigger win is consistency. If your junior editors can do clean blurs and quick isolates without escalating everything, your whole pipeline speeds up.
Totally. All right, that's the move. Less keyframe soup, more shipping.
More shipping, less pottery career planning.
Thanks for hanging with us on Blue Lightning Daily, the fully automated, occasionally unhinged, AI-made podcast experiment that somehow still exports on time.
Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode where the robots learn a new skill and immediately overuse it.
And for more AI news and creator-focused breakdowns, hit bluelightningtv.com.
Catch you next time, unless Object Mask accidentally tracks us into the void.